Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Wake Up Wednesdays. So, wake up. These Wake Up Wednesdays are an opportunity for us to reinvigorate one another, for us to recharge and refocus and recalibrate ourselves towards our plan. And we do this by picking our heads up from the week, midweek, every week, and we look at our GSD list. Our GSD list is an outcome driven list that we look towards. So as you guys know, it is not a to-do list, it's an outcome-driven list. So an outcome might be stakeholder engagement, stakeholder outreach. A to-do under that might be call John, schedule time with Jane, fly to New York for a conference with Jack. So there could be a tremendous amount of to-dos that fall under the umbrella of the outcome of stakeholder engagement or whatever your outcome is. So these Wake Up Wednesdays are an opportunity for us to not let the week get away from us like it naturally can, because multiple people are calling you, you're double and triple booked in your calendar, the time zone differences are crazy, like me, because if you're working with people all around the world, you have people sending you private messages, you have a query system. So this picking our heads up midweek, looking at that outcome list and saying to ourselves, are we tracking towards our outcomes? And if we aren't, that's okay. This is an opportunity to reinvigorate, recharge, and recalibrate one another. So before we get going today and we talk about the article that I posted in the group chat, I just wanted to mention something as it pertains to current affairs. As you know, in the States, there was an assassination attempt on a former president who was also a candidate running for the presidency. And what I'd like to say to everyone is that I hope that we can create a global environment of more peace and more collaboration, and that we can all work together and we can have an environment in which we do not physically harm each other, we do not emotionally or financially harm each other, but we create an environment where we can all help each other and make each other better. And I know that this is something that everyone is talking about in the news, on social media, and at the water cooler. If you want to talk about this, please feel free to give me a call. I'm happy to listen to you. I'm all ears on this or anything that you want to discuss. Okay, guys? But what I'd like to talk to you today is the article I posted in the group chat entitled, What is a Skills Analysis? A skills gap analysis, and how can it unlock the potential for your team? So a skills gap analysis is essentially looking at all the different team members you're working with, whether it's a small team or a large organization, and saying, number one, these are the skills they have. Number two, these are the skills we think we need for this desired outcome. And number three, this is the roadmap on how we get there. So this is the skills we currently have. These are the skills we think we need. And this is the roadmap of how we actually get there. Okay, so what's the value of this? The value of this is it increases and it boosts team morale. It gives you a higher return on your investments. And what that looks like is once you define your outcomes, once you define your vision, your mission for the product that you want to build, the product you want to roll out, and you have a project plan, you then have a skills analysis to say, okay, guys, we know that we have some really strong, for example, Java developers, or we have some really strong UI designers, or whatever it is. You have to conduct that inventory, you have to conduct that analysis, and I can tell you how to do that. And the way you boost morale is by saying, we know that if we're going to bring this to market, we need some more Python developers, or we need some more folks that are good at mobile, or we need some more folks that are good at product marketing and product sales. Because if we build an amazing product, but we don't bring it to market and we can't sell it, we're not going to be profitable. We need some folks that are good at finance that can help us with our finances and our budget to make sure that we're adding value to the marketplace and we can cover our overhead and our bottom line. Very important. This will reinvigorate the team because it'll get them excited. The purpose of the skills analysis, gap analysis, is not to say these are the gaps we have, so these are the people we need to let go because they don't have the skills we want. No, 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 of course not. If you are someone like me and you want to continue to create a collaborative environment where we help people build and we grow people, we develop people, we have a growth mindset, or if you're maybe someone that looks at it, you're a bottom line kind of a person. If you're a bottom line kind of a person, then you know as well as I do that it's more cost effective to keep the team members, to keep the staff, the employees, and keep them well trained and have a lower turnover, a lower attrition rate, so that folks can grow with your company, with your business over time, and you can help build them up. So first, it's to go person by person. If there's too many people, then it's to go department head by department head and literally just map out who are the people and what are the skills that they have. First, you need to know the inventory of what those skills are. Now, once again, obviously, this is done after the outcomes are set, after the vision is set. You do an inventory either with your team leads, or if you're running a small team, you do that inventory with your team itself. You can do that physically on the whiteboard. I'm more of an in-person guy, so I'll draw that on the whiteboard. I'll write each person's name down in a list. I'll do that in alphabetical order, in no particular order. We're not showing any preference to anyone. It's just alphabetical order. And then on the top, we'll start to write down those skills. So maybe that's JavaScript, maybe that's project management, maybe that's infrastructure, maybe that's help desk support, or maybe that's sales, maybe that's marketing. You start to write down all of the skills that people have. Now you have an inventory of everyone's skills on this big whiteboard. And once again, if you're working in an organization where you have thousands and thousands of people, you want to work with your team leads, you want to work with your directs, your inner circle, so to speak, your product cabinet, your executive steer call. All of these groups have different names that basically speak to the same thing. And then you can start to say, for example, this is Jane. Jane is in part of the UI. She's in charge of the UI team. And these are the skills, or these are the tools that Jane's team currently possesses, and she can speak to that. You do that for your department heads. So you can do this on a large scale or a small scale based on what you're working on, but it's very important that you do it so that you can increase your team's morale and increase your return on your investment. The next thing you want to do is, once you have that inventory laid out on that big whiteboard or a virtual whiteboard or even some kind of spreadsheet, the next thing you want to do is start to say, okay, these are the skills we have. And then down that, you make a new list on the left. These are the skills that we need. So you put down the skills that you need and you prioritize that list to say, not in alphabetical order this time, but these are the skills that are most important to us on the top. And then the ones down the bottom are important skills, but maybe they're not most important. And then the columns on the top speak to the current average level of skill. So let's use the example of Java again. So we might say that we need Java developers, and our current skill set, we believe our current skill set average is about a 2 or a 3 on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the most, 1 being the least. And we think that we need on average a 4 or 5. Or we think that right now we're perfectly happy with that average. The next column tells us, do we have a gap? Yes or no. The next column talks about a quick high-level action plan. So that might be bring in trainers, it might be bringing staff augmentation, consultants, contractors, it might be sending people out to training, it might be doing training in-house. And then you can flesh out that plan in the third step more, but the column is just a placeholder for it. It might look something like, we need Python skills. What's our current skill level? 0. What's the skill level we want to get to? A 3 or a 4. Do we have a gap? Yes, we do. How do we satisfy that gap in the plan? We can hire Python developers. We can train our current JavaScript developers on Python. And you do that for all the skills you need, whether that's help desk support, infrastructure leads, cloud architects, project managers, product operation folks, sales, marketers. You list all of those skills out. That's step two. Step three is where you start to flesh out the roadmap of how you're going to get to those skills. So this is the most important piece. So you have that action plan in one of the last columns in your assessment of your current skill level. And then the roadmap actually maps out and speaks to, okay, for these next 3 months, we're going to bring in trainers. Or for this 6 month contract, we're going to bring in staff augmentation, work with partnerships, bring in contractors, consultants, work with folks like McKinsey, Deloitte, KPMG to bring them in for this amount of time. Or whatever the plan is, maybe you're doing multiple things. Maybe you're sending people out to training. Maybe you're augmenting your team. Maybe you even have budget to bring in new people. So this is very important, guys. I hope that you take this opportunity to think about skills gap analysis and think about how it can help reinvigorate your team to boost morale, to let them know that help is on the way, that this is the vision, these are the outcomes we want to achieve, and that if we don't have the skills we need based on the assessment, or we're not at the right level of skills we need, that's okay. We're going to bring in all the help and all the support we need. Everyone's job is safe and secure. And the purpose of the skills gap analysis is not to see where we're deficient and to let people go, but it's to help build them up, to foster an environment of collaboration and trust so we can get the most out of our people and the highest return on interest so we can make sure we're profitable. All right, guys, so thank you so much for the time and thank you for the opportunity to discuss with you skills gap analysis. And once again, welcome to Wake Up Wednesdays. So wake up, and I hope you all have a great day. Let's continue to have the conversation going. And if you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call and let's talk about it. All right, guys, thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye.